Hello, my dear students. Good morning. Welcome to today's session on acids, bases, and salts, which forms important class of compounds in chemistry. And these three compounds of chemistry are very important in our day-to-day life. That's why we have to learn acids, bases, and salts. And today we are discussing how strong is an acid and how strong is a base. Depend upon its strength, we can take some measures, whether it is in the laboratory or for any household activities. So let us start today's session on acidic strength and the basic strength. Before we go to the topic, a small caption on acid and a base. Tragedy is like a strong acid. Dilute it with a base called happiness. That means in one's life, ups and downs are there. Don't worry. If tragedy comes, which acts like an acid, you have to put a base of happiness. Automatically, it is nullified. That is the meaning of this statement. That means this is the truth of life. This is the philosophy of life. Now, today we go to the our chapter topic known as strength of an acid and the strength of a base, which is measured on one scale known as the pH scale. Because to measure, for example, we measure something using the scale. We also measure the temperature using a scale. So to measure, we require a scale. So here also to measure strength of an acid and the strength of a base, we require a scale. And here this scale is called as what? pH scale. What is pH scale? P for potenz. It is a German word. Means potentiality, power, ability of what? Of hydrogen ion concentration. Okay. So in our previous class, we have studied that acid is H plus donor and the proton is OH minus donor. So how easily H plus is given by a substance, that is the best acid, and how easily OH minus is given by a particular substance is a best base. So depend upon their capacity or their ability to give, to furnish H plus ion and the OH minus ion, they are measured how strong, how weak acid or a base, and that is known as what? pH scale. A scale developed to measure the concentration of hydrogen ion in a solution is known as pH scale, where P in pH implies potenz in German means potentiality, power of hydrogen ion concentration. In our everyday life, we come across many liquids, whether it is inside of the body or outside of the body. So all those common liquids or the solids or the gases, their pH ranges are usually from 0 to 14. So that scale they made. So 0 to 14, all the chemicals of our life falls in this range. So that's why this pH scale starts from 0 and ends with 14. Others are there less than 0, more than 14, but those chemicals we don't deal. That's why for everyday life we will use such a chemicals whose pH lies between 0 and the 14. The pH of a neutral solution is 7. If any solution whose pH is less than 7, call it as an acid. Any solution whose pH is more than 7, it is having basic character. That means basic character dominates. But if the solution whose pH is 7, it is neutral. So 7 is taken as the middle point of the pH scale, where it is neither acidic nor basic, it is a neutral. And whatever water we are drinking every day, its pH is 7, it is neutral. Acidic solution is represented by a value less than 7 on the pH scale, whereas basic solution is represented by a value greater than 7 on the pH scale. An increase in OH minus ion concentration. See, we are having a solution which is acidic, whose pH is less than 7. Means what? Hydrogen ion concentrations are more. Now, if you add base, okay, then what happens after adding base? OH minus ion concentration start increasing, and at the same time H plus concentration start decreasing. So by increasing the OH minus concentration, you are shifting from acid towards the base. So increasing the OH results in the basic solution, increasing the H plus results in the acidic solution. Acids giving rise to more H plus ion are strong acid. The one which gives more H plus ion in a solution in a given amount of that liquid, that becomes a strong acid. Or strong acid gives H plus very easily, whereas the one which gives less H plus ion are termed as both are acids only. Strong acids are the one which gives H plus easily, and the weak acids are the one which gives H plus ion with difficulty. Similarly, bases giving rise to more OH minus ion are strong bases, whereas those giving rise to less OH minus ion are termed as weak bases. That means depend upon the number of OH minus ion in a particular given amount of a solution, we will tell whether it is strong acid, strong base, weak acid, or a weak base. And for this we require a scale known as a pH scale, and to know the pH scale we use some indicators. They are called as chemicals which will tell or which will identify the given liquid as a base or acid. They are called as indicators by their color change. Otherwise, they have done what? A paper known as a pH paper, and that pH paper is dipped in the given liquid and depend upon the color. So we can say whether it is more acidic or less acidic, or more basic or the less basic, or the neutral. So color on the pH paper tells how much is the pH value, and on the pH value we can take decision or the conclusion that whether it is acidic or basic or neutral. Salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral. Why? Here both are strong, acid strong, base strong, result is neutral. So their pH is what? 7. Whereas salts of strong acid and weak base, here acid base you are mixing, but acid is strong, base is a weak. So the acid strength flows in the formation of in the salt. So salt shows some acidic character. That's why its pH value is less than 7. Now contrary to this one, if you use the strong base and the weak acid, whatever salt forms, in that salt the basic character flows. That means its pH becomes more than 7. Depend upon the which base, which acid you are using, that type of salt is formed. But for the neutral salt, you have to use a strong acid and a strong base. Best example is every day we are using sodium chloride. This is called pH scale. This is what? pH scale. Starting from 0 to 14. Okay. At the middle, pH equal to 7, which is called neutral. Less than 7, strong acid. More than 7, strong base. Okay. So here it is what here? Increasing concentration of OH minus ion. If you move from left to right, okay, so you are increasing the concentration of OH minus ion or decreasing the concentration of H plus ion. That means you are decreasing the acidic strength and increasing the basic strength. This side, if you move from right to left, it is what? Increasing concentration of H plus ion or decreasing concentration of OH minus ion. That means we are moving from basic to acidic via neutral. This is called pH scale given by Sorensen, his scientist name is here. He is the one who has done research work on the pH scale. pH scale in everyday life. See, this is the pH range our body works. Every day you have to maintain this much only, otherwise something goes wrong in the body. No. Acid rain less than 7 is called as acid rain. If it falls, building problem to the building soil, all this happens. Now groundwater pH is almost, I told 7, no, that is best for our body. Plants require specific pH. Otherwise, take the soil, then you test the pH value. They will prescribe you proper manure or the fertilizer so that acidic basic strength is minimized for the healthy growth of a plant. So this is what pH range and the color. Okay, you see our human body, the stomach part of the human body. Okay, so here acid is there for the digestion purpose, but this should not increase more than that. So if it becomes less than 1, it is too strong, we feel acidity. Okay, that's why. See, pH value of tomato juice he has given. Okay, our stomach secretes this much acid only due to indigestion. If stomach secretes more strong acid less than 1, that is called acidity, which causes pain and irritation. That is, for that you have to take a doctor's advice. He will give you the proper base so that acid is neutralized. Bacteria present in the mouth generates acids by decomposing the remaining sugar and food particles in the mouth that lowers the pH and corrodes calcium phosphate present in our teeth enamel, that is called tooth decay. Therefore, after every meal we have to brush our teeth. See, this is the corrosion of calcium phosphate which causes tooth decay. So, after every meal we have to brush our teeth, but that we are not doing. At least twice in a day you do morning and while you go to the bed. Ant sting injects formic acid. Okay, red ant. So why? It is because it contains formic acid that will give a kind of pain or irritation. That time you can rub with what? Normal soda for kitchen soda. It is basic in nature and pain is subsides. Now one question here. Why does not life exist on Venus? It is because of the acidic nature of the Venus plant. If you see the Venus plant and its atmosphere, it contains sulfuric acid cloud. So because of that, life is not there on the Venus. Why life exists only on the Earth? Because conditions for life are favorable on Earth. That's why only on the planet Earth life exists. Otherwise, on other planets life is not there because of some other reasons. But here on the Venus, it is due to the sulfuric acid atmosphere. See, here is the sulfuric acid. That's why life is not there on Venus. Okay, boys. Today we will wind up today's session, and tomorrow we will go to acid base salt part 4. Some other part is there. So after understanding acids and bases, then we will go to the salt. Okay. Thank you, my dear boys.